Can you tell me a little bit more about your personal leadership journey?
I can, and I'll tell you if you don't mind, Sarah, I'll lead with some of my core values, if that's okay, that support my leadership philosophy, but also my purpose, which I've already shared. And that is because these are what I center on every single day. And these are not expectations just of myself. These are expectations of everybody that I lead, everybody that I'm blessed to be associated with, everybody in the organization. And I've been very blessed in the military, at Blue Origin, and at Astra to work with such phenomenal people that actually align with these core values. Now, sometimes we have different definitions, and sometimes we have to tweak them a little, and sometimes we have to
Mhm.
do all that negotiation now and then on stuff. But the fundamental core values that I'd like to share leading into my leadership journey would, I think, is a good starting point for this conversation. One of the first one is my first value is you actually have to care. Okay, care is a word, right? You can say you care, but do you actually care?
Mhm.
And care is about the actions. Uh, a leader is a person, right? Leadership is about how you apply all the fundamentals and the things that you've learned throughout your day. And everybody's different, right? Because everybody has a different personality. So you got to adapt fundamentals and principles and the application of all that. You have to adapt it to your personality to make it who you are, because you can't go execute leadership trying to be somebody else. It doesn't work, right? And part of that is you have to actually care. So that's emotional, that's physically, that's all those things. You actually have to care. I've learned through the years, a lot of people say they care, but they don't know how to put that into action, what caring actually means. And that's where leadership comes in.
Mhm.
So my first is care. You've got to actually care. The next is sacrifice. You have to be willing to sacrifice. If you take it on that it's all about me and it's about what I do, and you use that word a lot, that it's not going to, you're not going to get where you need to go with the organization or yourself, your personal life, or anything else. You have to step out of that, and you have to be willing to sacrifice. And sacrifice means time. Sometimes it means money. Sometimes it means, you know, long hours, week, whatever it is. Because if you actually care about the organization and you care about the people, then you care about the success and you care about the team. You have to be willing to sacrifice to go accomplish those things. So the
Mhm.
second thing I focus on is sacrifice. Am I willing to sacrifice, and are others willing to sacrifice in order to do what's right for the team, right for the individual, and right for the organization? The third thing is resiliency. It's a crazy world we live in.
Mhm.
It's not always fair. It's not always right. And you have to be resilient. You have to be able to, I call it move and motivate. So when you're hit with those things that make you, take a step back, and you get to that decision point where you're like, oh, I'm upset, I'm pissed off, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. That's time to take a step back and step up, right?
Mhm.
And think again and be resilient, right? Everybody should be treated with dignity and respect, but you have to have a sense of resiliency about you. And you have to be willing to face that, and then you move and motivate. So once you're hit with whatever that is, step up, move, and then go forward and motivate and get people moving back in the right direction again. Um, Next is integrity. You have to be willing to do the right thing, period. Um, and sometimes that's a gray line, not black or white, but you have to be willing to take that on.
Mhm.
And sometimes that blends right back into sacrifice, right? And you have to be willing to do that. Integrity is everything. Integrity comes from trust. Integrity comes from honesty. Integrity comes from all those things. But you have to be willing to operate with integrity, period. All right. And I'll stand by that forever. All right.
Mhm.
And last is respect. You have to have respect for yourself, respect for others, respect for the organization, respect for what the organization is trying to accomplish, respect for the effort that it's going to take to get there, respect for all those things. You have to respect that, and you have to balance that respect across the whole organization. But you have to be respectful of it, and then you have to be respectful of individuals as people with personalities and desires and ambitions and all those things. And
Mhm.
respect a lot of times comes from just listening and then moving forward with understanding. So,
Mhm.
so those I center on those core values a lot. Those are the five that I stick to. Those are the 5 that have run true with me. And those are the ones that I've developed over my leadership journey, because my leadership journey started back in the Boy Scouts, and then went into high school sports and student government, and then went into the military, and rose up through the ranks in the military, commanding 2 different warships, commanding the destroyer squadron, and then moving from there into strike group operations, some time in Iraq. It just, that journey of all those experiences, right? The challenge was through all that is bringing it in to my personality, and how, the leader I want to be, and how I'm going to apply all those experiences personally to me. And then when I stepped out of the military, the journey continued with Blue Origin. So an amazing organization with amazing people. All right. But the applications of leadership were the same.
Hmm.
They're the same, whether I was in the military or whether it's at Blue Origin. Now I had to adjust my style a little bit. All right. But it was the same. And then moving from Blue Origin into Astra, another fantastic company with fantastic leaders, a much younger company than Blue Origin, a public company, but one that is extremely focused and caring, and fits my core values. But that leadership journey moved on with them as well. Again, incredible people that deserve, the best effort and the best leadership that I can provide.